Hello, Toon Army. What a brilliant day to be talking about our beloved Newcastle United, the best team in the world. I'm absolutely buzzing to bring you the latest news from St. James's Park today, and I know you magnificent fans are just as eager to hear what's happening with our incredible club. There's always something exciting brewing around Newcastle United, and today is no different. Now then, I've got some absolutely crucial news about our fantastic right-back Tino Livermento that's got everyone talking. Here are two questions I'm dying to hear your thoughts on. What do you think about Eddie Howe's determination to keep Tino Livermento at St. James Park despite Manchester City's interest? Are you confident our gaffer can convince him to stay and continue building something special with us? And how would you feel if we actually did receive that astronomical 80 million bid for Livramento? Would you want the club to accept it to fund other signings? Or should we keep our rising star no matter what? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is exactly the kind of passionate debate that makes our fan base the greatest in football. Right then, let's dive straight into what's got every Newcastle United supporter's heart racing this summer. Our absolutely brilliant right-back Tino Livermento has caught the eye of none other than Manchester City. And I can tell you right now that this is exactly the kind of situation that shows just how far our magnificent club has come under Eddie Howe's leadership. The lad has been nothing short of sensational since arriving at St. James's Park, hasn't he? At just 22 years old, Livramento has already established himself as one of the Premier League's finest right-backs. And that's not just me being biased as a Newcastle fan. That's the honest truth that everyone in football is starting to recognize. The way he's developed under Eddie Howe's guidance has been absolutely phenomenal to watch, and it's no surprise that Pep Guardiola sees him as the perfect replacement for Kyle Walker. But here's what's got me absolutely buzzing about this whole situation. Eddie Howe isn't having any of it. Our gaffer is doing everything humanly possible to keep Livramento at the club, and that shows the ambition and determination that's running through every fiber of this incredible football club. When you hear that Newcastle are demanding an astronomical fee of around $80 million just to even consider entertaining offers, you know that the club means business about building something truly special. The fact that former Manchester United chief scout Mick Brown has said that only a crazy offer would be accepted tells you everything you need to know about how highly our club rates this exceptional young talent. And why shouldn't we rate him that highly? Livramento has been absolutely outstanding for us, providing that attacking threat down the right flank while remaining solid defensively. He's exactly the kind of player you build championship-winning teams around. What makes this situation even more exciting is that it represents a complete shift in Newcastle United's position in the football world. Not too long ago, we were the club that other teams picked apart, taking our best players for relatively modest fees. Now we're the ones setting astronomical valuations and telling the likes of Manchester City that they'll have to pay through the nose if they want our stars. That's the kind of power position that the best clubs in the world operate from, and it's absolutely thrilling to see Newcastle United in that position. Eddie Howe's determination to keep Livramento also shows the incredible long-term vision that's driving this club forward. The gaffer knows that if we're going to compete at the highest levels of European football, we need to keep our best players and build around them. Livramento isn't just a talented right-back. He's a cornerstone of the future that we're building at St. James's Park. The timing of Manchester City's interest is particularly telling as well. They've watched Livramento shine for England's under-21s, and they've seen how crucial he's been to our success in achieving that brilliant fifth-place finish and winning the League Cup. When clubs like Manchester City come knocking, it means you've got something truly special, and we absolutely have that in Tino Livermento. But here's what I love most about this whole situation: the confidence that's radiating from everyone connected with Newcastle United. From Eddie Howe to the board to the supporters, everyone believes that we can keep our best players and continue building something magnificent. That's the mentality of a club that's going places, and it's exactly what we need as we prepare for another season of Champions League football. The 80 million valuation might seem steep to some, but when you consider what Livramento brings to the team and his potential for the future, it's actually quite reasonable. He's young, he's English, he's proven in the Premier League, and he's only going to get better. In today's market, that's exactly what top-tier talent costs, and Newcastle United are absolutely right to value him accordingly. Right then, let's continue with what this whole Livramento situation tells us about where our magnificent Newcastle United is heading, because this is so much more than just one transfer saga. This is about the identity and ambition of the best team in the world. What absolutely thrills me about this entire situation is how it perfectly encapsulates the transformation that's taken place at St. James's Park under Eddie Howe's brilliant leadership. Think about it for a moment. We're now in a position where we can tell Manchester City, one of the wealthiest clubs in world football, that they'll need to pay $80 million just to get us to the negotiating table. That's the kind of power that elite clubs wield, and it's absolutely magnificent to see Newcastle United operating from that position of strength. The fact that we're being so resolute about keeping Livramento also sends a powerful message to every other player in our squad and every potential signing we're targeting. It tells them that Newcastle United is serious about competing at the highest level, that we're not a stepping stone club anymore, and that we're building something truly special that players will want to be part of for the long term. When Alexander Isak sees us fighting tooth and nail to keep Livramento, it reinforces his own decision to stay and be part of this incredible journey we're on. But here's where it gets even more exciting. This transfer window has shown us that Newcastle United has learned valuable lessons about squad building and player retention. Peter Rourke mentioned that we've found it challenging to land some of our top targets like Brian Mbeumo and João Pedro, but rather than panic or compromise our standards, we're doubling down on keeping our existing stars. That's exactly the kind of strategic thinking that separates successful clubs from the rest. The connection between keeping Livramento and our broader transfer strategy is absolutely crucial to understand. As Mick Brown pointed out, by retaining our best players, we make ourselves more attractive to potential new signings. When world-class players see that Newcastle United is a club that fights to keep its stars, that tells them we're serious about our ambitions and that they won't just be passing through on their way to somewhere else. What's particularly brilliant about Eddie Howe's approach is that he's not just thinking about this summer, he's thinking about the next 3 to 5 years. Livramento, at 22 years old, represents the perfect age profile for a player who can be part of multiple successful campaigns. He's experienced enough to handle the pressure of Champions League football, but young enough to continue developing and improving for years to come. That's exactly the kind of player you build championship-winning teams around. The fact that we're now being mentioned in the same breath as Manchester City when it comes to transfer battles also shows how dramatically our profile has risen in the football world. When Pep Guardiola identifies one of our players as his primary target, that's recognition of the quality that Eddie Howe has cultivated at St. James Park. It's validation of everything we've been building, and proof that our recruitment strategy has been absolutely spot on. This situation also highlights the incredible work that's been done behind the scenes at Newcastle United. The club's valuation of Livramento at $80 million isn't just a number pulled out of thin air. It's based on careful analysis of his current ability, his potential for growth, and his importance to our tactical system. When you see how seamlessly he fits into Eddie Howe's style of play, providing width in attack while maintaining defensive solidity, you understand why the club values him so highly. The broader implications for our summer transfer strategy are fascinating as well. By taking such a firm stance on Livramento, we're establishing a precedent for how we'll handle future interest in our key players. It sends a clear message that Newcastle United isn't a selling club anymore. We're a destination club that players want to join and stay with for the long term. What makes this even more special is the timing of it all. We're coming off a season where we won the League Cup and finished 5th in the Premier League, and we're preparing for another campaign in the Champions League. This is exactly when you need to show ambition and keep your best players, and that's precisely what we're doing with Livramento. The support from our incredible fan base throughout this whole situation has been absolutely phenomenal as well. Every Newcastle United supporter understands that keeping players like Livramento is crucial to our continued success, and that unity between the club, the manager, and the supporters creates an environment where players want to stay and contribute to something special. Looking ahead, if we can successfully keep Livramento and continue building around players of his caliber, there's no limit to what this Newcastle United team can achieve. We're not just talking about maintaining our position in the top half of the Premier League. We're talking about genuine title challenges and deep runs in European competition. Well, that's all from St. James Park for today, lads and lasses. The battle for Tino Livermento perfectly encapsulates everything that's exciting about Newcastle United right now. The ambition, the quality, and the determination to compete with the very best. Keep supporting the best team in the world, and I'll be back with more updates soon. Eddie Howe and this incredible squad are building something truly magnificent, and keeping players like Livramento is exactly how you turn potential into trophies. Away the lads.